Use less energy. Much of the energy we use today is generated by coal power plants, which is one of the largest sources of mercury emissions to the Canadian environment. According to the Ministry of Energy, Ontario aimed to eliminate all coal power plants by 2014. Now, Ontario relies on wind power, hydroelectricity, natural gas, and other methods producing electricity. This doesn't mean that all methods are clean. Hydro dams also contribute to the pollution of mercury in our water because of the construction process. By using less energy, fewer dams would be needed to be built, thus resulting in lower mercury pollution. Reduce the use of products that contain mercury. Often when consumers purchase items, they have a variety of types of items. A most common example of this would be light bulbs. Over the past years, Environment Canada has been recommending Canadians to purchase compact fluorescent lamp bulbs over the traditional incandescent bulbs. The main reason for this is to conserve energy. Though CFL bulbs do contain mercury, it is in very small amounts, and for them to be a truly alternative solution in order for us to reduce our mercury emissions, we must follow the proper method of disposing them. All we have to do as responsible citizens is drop them off at their designated recycling centers. Do not throw them in the garbage, nor pour liquid mercury down the drain, as these actions will potentially further pollute our water systems and/or atmosphere. Going back to light bulbs, a regular incandescent bulb will use 100 watts to produce 1600 lumens. A CFL bulb will produce the same amount of lumens for 23 watts. The way how fluorescent bulbs work is because of mercury. Inside the bulb, there are small amounts of mercury vapor. When electricity passes through the bulb, it excites the vapor, and the result of this is ultraviolet rays, which we see as light. A more energy-efficient but costly method would be to use light-emitting diodes, or LED for short, which produce 1600 lumens for an estimate of 20 watts. Should you ever spill mercury on anything, follow these simple steps to safely and successfully clean up the mess. Equipment you will need: rubber gloves, protective eyewear or safety glasses, clothing that can be worn and later discarded, eyedropper, large trash bags, large tray or box, plastic bags with a zipper seal, paper towels, facial tissues or toilet paper, rags, tape, duct masking or packing, stiff paper, plastic dustpan, wide-mouth containers with tight-fitting lids, flashlight, and optional, commercially available mercury spill kit. Any items used to clean up a mercury spill must be properly disposed of afterwards. Step 1. Determine the extent of the spill. If the spill is small and on a non-porous area such as linoleum or hardwood flooring, or on a porous item that you can throw away, like a small rug or mat, you can probably clean it up yourself. If the spill is large or on a rug that cannot be discarded, on upholstery or in cracks or crevices, it may be necessary to hire a professional. Large spills involving more than the amount of mercury found in a typical household product should be reported to local environmental health authorities. If you are not sure whether a spill would be classified as large, contact local environmental health authorities to be on the safe side. Under certain circumstances, it may be advisable to obtain the assistance of qualified personnel for professional cleanup or air monitoring regardless of spill size. If the spill contaminates a large rug or other valuable item, remove and ventilate the item for several months after cleaning up the spill. The item should be tested before bringing it back into the home. If a fluorescent light bulb is broken, it is not likely that any mercury will be visible. However, the broken glass should be treated as a hazard, and the procedures below should be followed. Step 2. Contain the spill. Check to see if anyone or their apparel or any porous household items such as floor mats have been splashed with mercury. If so, contaminated items should be removed and double or triple wrapped in a plastic or sealable bag and sealed before leaving the spill site. Mercury on the skin should be wiped off and also placed in the plastic bag. Evacuate the area and ensure that children and pets are kept well away from the spill. Close all interior doors leading to other indoor areas. Open windows and exterior doors to ventilate the area. The danger of mercury exposure is much greater in poorly ventilated areas. Turn off ventilation, heating, or air conditioning systems that could circulate air from the site of the spill to other areas of the building. Turn down the thermostat. Lowering the temperature decreases the amount of mercury vapor that will enter the air. Use stiff paper to push the drops together. Stop the spread of the spill by blocking it off with rags. Mercury droplets should be prevented from entering cracks in the floor, crevices, and drains. Step 3. Preparation. Remove jewelry because it can form bonds with the mercury. Change into old clothes that can be discarded. Put on rubber gloves and safety glasses. Step 4. Cleanup. Here's a list of do's and don't do's to assist you when you're cleaning up the mercury spill. Do not put contaminated items in the washing machine. Mercury may contaminate the machine and pollute the sewage system. Do not vacuum. Vacuuming a mercury spill may increase the mercury vapor in the air and increase the risk of inhalation. If used, vacuums may become contaminated and therefore may need to be discarded. Do not use a broom or brush. Sweeping or brushing up a spill will scatter mercury droplets, making them harder to find and clean up. Do not pour mercury down the drain. Mercury may settle in the S-trap of your drain and may pollute the sewage system of your septic tank. Do not throw mercury or contaminated items in the garbage. Mercury may be emitted as a vapor from landfill sites or from waste incinerators. Do follow the instructions on a mercury spill kit if you have one. Carefully clean up any broken glass. Wear rubber gloves to avoid contact with mercury and to prevent cuts. Place the glass in a rigid, wide-mouth container that can be sealed with a lid. Work from the outside of the spill area towards the center. Using stiff paper or a mercury vacuum, slide any droplets of liquid mercury onto a plastic dustpan and away from any carpet or other porous material. Use a flashlight to illuminate the mercury spill and to help spot small droplets. An eyedropper or an adhesive strip can be used to pick up small droplets. Pour collected mercury into a large mouth container slowly and carefully. This should be done over a box or tray lined with plastic to prevent spillage. Close the container with an airtight lid and seal with tape. Place inside a sealable bag and seal. Residual mercury can be removed by wiping with a vinegar-soaked swab followed by peroxide. The swabs should then be placed in an airtight container or sealable bag. Remove clothing worn during cleanup and all other items that may have come into contact with mercury, such as shoes, carpeting, and cleanup materials. Double or triple wrap all of the above using plastic or sealable bags. Thoroughly wash and rinse humans and animals that came into contact with the mercury with an alkaline soap. If you are on a city sewer, your local wastewater treatment plant can handle small amounts of mercury from rinsing the skin. However, if you are on a septic system, all mercury-containing water should be collected and disposed of. If mercury accidentally enters the septic system, stop using it and contact a professional waste contractor. Step 5. Disposal. Make sure that all bags with contaminated items and mercury are double or triple wrapped. Label these plastic bags something like contains mercury, hazardous waste. Label any containers with contaminated washing water the same way. Contact your municipal waste department for further disposal instructions. Step 6. Follow up. Mercury may have seeped into porous surfaces and may be impossible to remove. If this is the case, seal with epoxy paint or another sealing agent. Continue to ventilate the area with outside air using fans for a minimum of 2 days if possible. In an office building, increase the air exchange rate for 1 day. To evaluate the mercury levels in your home, contact Commercial Environmental Services or your local sanitation or integrated waste management authorities for information on conducting a building survey. This type of testing can be carried out using portable mercury monitors. In extreme cases, it may be necessary to conduct blood and urine tests.